third talk of this session is entitled The SAMEC Family of Lightweight Block Ciphers. It's joint work between Changyang Yang, Bo Zhu, Valentin Suder, Mike Orgard, and Guang Gong. And the talk will be given by Yang Zheng.
Thanks very much for the introduction. My name is Gang Qiang. I came from University of Waterloo. I'm currently a PhD student. The research area is mainly focused on cryptographic hardware in LPGs and ASICs. And this work is a collaboration work with Dr. Suder, Professor Mark McGregor, and Professor Gong. Actually, this work we are going to propose new lightweight block cipher called SAMEC. Now let's go to the details. So first of all, I'll give some the design goals, and then talk about some specifications, and then provide some hardware results, compare it with SAMEC, and then provide some security analysis. Finally, conclude this talk. Okay, so first, let's talk a little about lightweight cryptography, developing very fast in recent years. The purpose of lightweight cryptography is to provide suitable, secure, and complex ciphers that can fit into resource-constrained devices, such as the passive RFID tags and also the wireless sensor network. Basically, for the lightweight cryptography, we would like to say the area should be less than 2,000 gig equivalent, and also the power and the throughput should meet the specific applications. During the past recent years, a lot of lightweight cryptography has been improved, such as for the block cipher, DEAST, Present, and recently SAMEC SPEC. And for the string ciphers, we have Trivium Green, and also several lightweight versions of the Welchbone ciphers in our lab. It's worth to mention that some of them has already been standardized in ISO, such as Present and Trivium. I hope in more ciphers will be standardized in the future. Okay, let's talk more about SAMEC SPEC. It is proposed by Lilly in 2013 in NSA, this is National Security Agency. Well, SAMEC is designed optimized for hardware. SPEC is optimized for software, but they both have very good performance in hardware and software. So, and SAMEC has been recognized as one of the smallest ciphers in each K-size and block size categories with the same secure level. So, when we have questions about how can we design even smaller ciphers than SAMEC but with also enough security. So let's first see the structure of SAMEC. Basically, it's including 5 parts, which is message, K, run function, K schedule, and the key constant. So the registers that you use to store the message and the key, it cannot be changed in serial. So because we want to keep some security level, the only part that we can reduce is the 3 parts, run function, K schedule, and K constant. So based on these ideas, we propose the work SAMEC. So the high-level goals of SAMEC is to have smaller areas than SAMEC, but have similar secure levels also. So, but how can we achieve this? We designed SAMEC in the following aspect. So we first we combine the best features of SAMEC SPEC. We did this in these following 3 aspects. First of all is the run function. We use the modified versions of the SAMEC run functions, which is in the later we will show everybody that we change the shape numbers. For the key schedules, we use the run functions for the key schedule. This is learned from the design spec. And for the key constant, we use a smaller one, LFSR based constant, while the primitive polynomials is simpler than SAMEC. So, okay, so we have these 3 changes, and this gives up SAMEC families. We have 3 instances, including SAMEC 3264, 4896, and 64128. So where the first number is the block size, second number is the key size. And the number of rounds is the same as 7. So, okay, so this is just a very brief introduction of SAMEC. Now let's go to the details. So first of all, I mentioned we have 3 implement, one function, key schedule, and key constant. Let's move on it one by one. So if we look at the run functions of SAMEC and SPIKE in a mathematical point of view, for the SAMEC we have 3 safe numbers, which is 1, 8, 2, and 1 AND gate and 3 XOR gate. For SAMEC we have only 2 safe numbers, but with reduced values of the safe number, and the same numbers of AND gate and XOR gate. Here the N means that the word size. In our case, in our 3 instances, it is 16, 24, and 32 respectively. So we have a question because we changed these safe numbers. How can these changes make effect on area? So we will go to analyze this effect. So because we want to provide a wide range of operands between area, power, and throughput, so we explore different hardware architectures of this kind of block ciphers. Here, we first propose the parallel architecture. It's actually a round-based architecture, which means it's processed 1 round per clock cycles, and the bit pass is n bit twice. So if we can look at the structures, we already introduced. The only difference for this parallel architecture is different shape numbers. But from hardware point of view, the shape can be easily done by rewiring the lines, so it don't cause any actual errors. So let's come to the conclusion for the parallel architecture. For the run functions, it should not affect errors, do not reduce or increase the error. However, for the other architecture, such as the partially serialized architecture, which means we process only several bit per clock cycles. And here giving examples of the fully serialized architecture, which means it's processed 1 bit per clock cycles, and it will be used n clock cycles to process 1 run. And in this architecture, it indeed will affect the area for the run functions. If we can see clearly from the top 2 pictures of the fully serialized architecture of SAMEC and SPIKE. For SAMEC, we have 3 multiplexers to the dash box of the run function. And for SAMEC, we have only 2 multiplexers to the dash box. So which means if we change the shift numbers, we can reduce 1 multiplexer in here. And also, because the multiplexers need some selecting circuitry, we change the shift numbers. This part of area should also change. So we also sync up some logic to select the multiplexers. Okay, so now we came to the key schedule. Similar like SAMEC, we first proposed a parallel architecture. So similar like this is also a run-based architecture. And here, the above picture is the run function of SAMEC. Below one is the SAMEC. So in the parallel architecture, SAMEC's key schedule is smaller than SAMEC. Let's go to the details. Okay, if we see only the dash box of the key schedules in parallel architectures, as we all know, the shape numbers won't cause any error. So we only count the numbers of bit gates. So here I list the bit gates that occurs in the key schedules I mentioned above. Here is not just mathematically description of the gate. So it's actually a result after optimizations of the synthesis tools. So it's more just close to the real hardware. So if we see the numbers, we can see SAMEC has 2n plus 1 XOR and plus n minus 1 XNOR. SAMEC has n plus 1 XOR plus n minus 1 XNOR and plus n AND gate. The difference is that SAMEC has n XOR gate, while SAMEC has an AND gate. But based on the bit knowledge, or based on the basic constructions of the gate using the transistors, we would like to see in the ASICs one SR gate is larger than one AND gate. So SEMA's key schedule is smaller than SEMA. And the conclusion is also true for the partially serialized architectures as well as for serialized architectures. Okay, let's go to the second changes, the key constant. So the primitive polynomials for the LFSRs to generate the key constant for SEMA and SPAC is listed there. So we can clearly see that SEMA uses the smallest primitive polynomials to generate the LFSR. So SEMA is 2 SR gate equivalent smaller, which is 4 gate equivalent smaller than SEMA. Now I also present here the key schedules for fully serialized architectures. It's similar like in the one functions is process 1 bit per clock cycle, and data byte is 1 bit wise. And also the shift numbers of fact areas, we can also reduce one multiplex there and simplify the logic. And also the dash block for the key schedule is also data will be reduced as we described earlier. So this is basically the analysis of our three changes for SEMA. And now I will present some hardware results in ASICs, both in 130 nanometers and 65 nanometers. So you don't need to just memorize the numbers, it's very hard. So actually we present a wide range of options for different data types. For example, from 1 bit, 2 bit, 4 bit, until 32 bit. And we also present areas before place road and after place road. It's more close to takeoffs. And we present some also the maximum parentheses, throughput at 100 micros, as well as total power consumptions at 100 micros. This power consumption is used for the benchmarking purposes. However, in this talk, we get some new results for the total power result at 2 micros, which is based on our RFD platform. We think that the actual test will be around 2 micros. So this power information will be valuable for the industry people. I will show a more clearly figures to understand the difference between areas of SEMA and SPAC. Okay. The similar result is given for SEMA. As also we present a new result related to the total power consumptions at 2 micros. Okay, so here is show clearly figures to show the difference between SEMA and SPAC in terms of area. The blue line is our result of SEMA. The solid red line is our result of SEMA. The dashed red line is the original result from NSA. So as we can see clearly that our SEMA is smaller than both SEMAs, and our SEMA result is slightly smaller than NSA's result. And we can have a wide range of options for the data types from 1 bit, 2 bit, until 30 bit. And if people want to look at the smallest ciphers, how it will be small, let's look at the SEMA 3264, it will be around 500 gate equivalent. And it will be even smaller for the 65 nanometers. So here we give some actual results for the changes we have made. Remember that we have made 3 changes: one functions, key schedules, and key constant. Well, the key constant is in the control circuit where we can reduce 4 gate equivalent, which is the same as our theoretical analysis. For the wrong functions, it won't affect the parallel architectures. For the key conventional, for the key part, here the combinatorial part is mean that dash box. So we can reduce 60 gate equivalent for SEMA in parallel architecture and 3 gate equivalent in fully serialized. For the multiplexers, we cannot reduce areas in the parallel architectures because we don't need it. For the partially serialized architecture, especially for the fully serialized architecture, we can reduce 9 gate equivalent, which is 16 gate equivalent in total in fully serialized architecture and 20 gate equivalent for parallel architecture. We also provide a wide range of the sensing optimizations to further optimize the area and power consumption. Okay, just to give a summary of our results. First of all, in the 40 serial architectures, as we all remember that we can only reduce 3 parts of the Salmon structure, which is one function, KCL, and key constant. However, taking Salmon 3264 as an example, these 3 parts only account for 60.4 part of the total area. Salmon 3264 has been reduced by 46%, and we think it's a big reduce a lot. However, because it's only just account for 60.4 of the total area, so we can only need to 3% of the total result reduction. Similarly, for SAMX 4896 and 64128, it is 3 to 4 reduction. For the parallel architecture, it's similar result. We can reduce 3 to 4 reductions. Okay, so now I'll talk about something about the secret analysis. First of all, as people may ask, change the set numbers of the one function will influence the security or not. It is indeed influence. There is already a paper to investigate the different shape numbers effect in the semi-large ciphers in the crypto 15, because it will impact linear diffusion, differential diffusion. However, semi is to make a trade-off between the security and area. We want to have a smaller area, but we also want to have enough security margin for the real applications. For the security analysis of semi, because there are similarities, so the techniques can use. The SAMX technique can also be used for SAMX. After the SAMX is in public, there is already 2 papers to investigate the security analysis of SAMX. So we welcome more results will be published. Here is a summary of the security analysis for the 3 instances. Because SAMX has been in public for 2 or 3 years, our SAMX is in 3 months, so it's not fair to compare them. But we can see that SAMX is slightly weaker than SAMX, but not weak too much. Now I will give the conclusions. First of all, we propose SAMX. It's a new family of network block cycles. Second of all, we give a wide range of learning area, power, and throughput in both 130 meters nanometers and 65 nanometers A6. And we have shown that SAMX is smaller than SAMX in both area and power consumptions. And however, even though SAMX is slightly weaker than SAMX, but it still has sufficient security margin for real applications. Thanks very much for your attention. I'm open to the questions.
Any questions? So I have a question. Would it not be wise to add 2 rounds because you actually have already a lesser margin and people don't think that the margins of some spec are so big? Would it not be better to add already 2 rounds as an extra defense?
Actually, in terms of the number of rounds, we want to have a fair comparison with Salmon. So that's why we choose the same number as Salmon or in our process, in the design process of Salmon.
If I'm going to argue a fair comparison, use the same security level, and your margin seems to be a bit less than the one of Simon. So what is
But it's slightly weaker. It's not too much. But I think it still have enough margins for the real life applications.
So it seems we now have chips with billions of transistors, so do we really care of saving in gate count? I mean, did you not look at energy consumption, and how does your SAMX compare to Simon in terms of energy?
Currently, we only focus on the area and powers. I think in the future, we'll do some research on the energy.
Okay, there's no more questions. Let's thank our speaker again. Thank you very much.